Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spurs Up Show, best Gamecocks podcast on the internet. Today is Tuesday, July the 20th, 2021. Today's show, is it too early to say that Gamecocks head coach Shane Beamer is the ultimate winner of SEC Media Days? Folks, what a day, what an afternoon it was on Monday, guys. I'll give you guys my full thoughts, reactions to what Shane Beamer said at the Wynfrey Hotel in Hoover, Alabama. Also, the comments from Nick Muse, JJ, and Ibari, my overall takeaways. What stood out is, again, Shane Beamer wins the press conference, does an incredible job selling this South kind of football program, guys. I'll dive into that much more. Also, I feel like a little bit lost in the shuffle. We're talking Yardcocks because Mark Kingston and company pick up a huge baseball transfer and a Virginia Tech infielder. I'll tell you guys more about in just a little bit, guys. We got a packed show here on a Tuesday, a little bonus episode of the Spurs Up Show here this week, guys. So sit back, relax, enjoy. It's all brought to you by our friends over at Upstate Movers Group. Guys, Upstate Movers Group, superior moving service. They bring care and attention the companies can't offer because they're just too busy maintaining trucks and profiting off of them instead of focusing on service. Guys, service what separates Upstate Movers Group from the competition. They're not a trucking company. They're a moving services company, and they're also employee-owned co-op. Their movers are paid twice the industry average, and everyone on the crew is invested in your success. They have dedicated professional crew members, and they also offer black glove service. They offer end-to-end packing services, custom creating and packaging special items, and cleaning services as well. They're founded by Greenville natives and University of South Carolina alumni, guys, so a Gamecock-owned small business. They also offer 20 years of project management moving experience, and they can offer logistics and solutions that traditional moving companies simply do not have the skills for. Guys, whether in the upstate or across the state of South Carolina, if you have any moving needs in 2021, be sure to check out our friends over at Upstate Movers Group. You can find them on social media at Upstate Movers Group, or of course, if you have any other questions, go to their website, upstatemoversgroup.com. That's upstatemoversgroup.com. Be sure to check them out and tell them Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Let's get it. As we sit here now, just 46 days away from another Carolina kickoff, what rings in my head after watching Shane Beamer in Hoover, Alabama at SEC Media Days is this: spot the damn ball. Let's freaking go. I'm ready to run through a damn brick wall after just finishing up watching Shane Beamer, Nick Muse, and JJ Enigbare in Hoover, Alabama. Folks, excited to be talking to you guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in, guys. Like I told you yesterday, a little bonus episode of the Spurs Up Show. The last thing I want to do, and of course, we've got the Daily Crow. We're going to talk about this, break this all down in its entirety all throughout this week. But the last thing that I wanted to do on the airwaves, on the podcast specifically, was wait until Thursday's show to break down everything Shane Beamer said yesterday afternoon in his media availability, and as well as Nick Muse and JJ Enigbare as well, but didn't want to wait until later in the week. Wanted to go ahead, give you guys my immediate reactions, my immediate thoughts, and boy, oh boy, what a day it was as Shane Beamer continues to crush it to sell this South Carolina football program. And I'm going to dive into it a little bit more in just a second. Some of my overall takeaways, things he said, what I liked, what stood out from the Gamecocks appearance in Hoover, Alabama. Again, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Little bonus episode, like I said, feels good to talk to you all once again on a Tuesday. And let me start here first. Let me start here. Because, again, as I told you guys before, I believe in perspective and gratitude and never stopping to appreciate the little things in life. Like, never lose perspective, never lose sight of the little things, and never stop being grateful for those things. As I mentioned yesterday, I believe, on the podcast, and I've mentioned on the Daily Crow, but I want to bring it up one more time. Yesterday, in case you guys did not know, believe it or not, that was the first ever time that I got to sit down doing what I'm doing now full time and cover SEC Media Days and make content around SEC Media Days. I remember early 2010s or whenever it was, just watching SEC Media Days and thinking to myself, dreaming of, man, I'd love to be someone who is covering that and at the event and making content around it while we're not there in Hoover, which I don't think is really a big deal. You can make content and cover it from wherever you are. I was basically locked in the studio all day yesterday, which we love, by the way. But, sitting there, listening to Shane Beamer, watching Shane Beamer speak, Nick Muse speak, JJ Enigbare speak, and it's just really, really cool that Shane Beamer's first SEC Media Days, because, of course, guys, this got ripped from us last year, right? We didn't have this. And I've always been a big SEC Media Days guy. I told you guys yesterday the official kickoff to the college football season, truly. And it's not over yet, of course. We got the next couple of days of coaches speaking, but our guy has gone already. But I've always been a big SEC Media Days guy. Just always loved it, enjoyed it, whatever. Again, when you're starving for football in the middle of July and you're looking for anything to cling to and you're hanging on to every word coaches are saying and players are saying, I always used to dream about, man, I'd love to be one of those guys, one of those people, I should say, who was covering the event and making content around the event, was asking questions and was on social media. I used to follow the people that were tweeting about it and be like, man, I would love to be in that type of position to do that. And so yesterday was really, really special for yours truly, being able to sit down and cover the event and talk about it. And, we're going to talk about it more here in depth in just a second about what Shane Beamer said. And, for it to be Shane Beamer's first SEC Media Days and be the first SEC Media Days for me truly covering the event, doing my business full time. Really, really special. And again, I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you who takes time out of your day, even a second out of your day, to consume our content, show love to the content, just continue to rock with what we do, from the Daily Crow to the podcast, the Big Cock Club, to social media, to the merch, to everything. Without you guys, this business wouldn't be what it is. The Spurs Up show wouldn't be what it is. And I would not be able to lock in and sit there and create content and cover Shane Beamer and cover SEC Media Days. And again, guys, I just want you all to know, for that, I am extremely, eternally grateful. I will never stop being grateful for that. And again, I want to start this show off with some gratitude, because it's much needed. It's much deserved. It is very necessary for this time right now. And again, I have not lost perspective on never will lose perspective just on how special it is that I get to wake up and pursue my dreams and passions and fuel my dreams and passions in life. Like I said, it was a lifelong dream of mine to cover SEC Media Days. Maybe that sounds silly to some people, but for me, that was something, an event I watched. I was like, man, that's such a cool event. And like, I would love to sit there and make content around it, and being able to do that yesterday in the studio and lock in and, interacting with you all that are in the Big Cock Club, which appreciate those who have joined that. And, interacting with you all through social media, and really us all sharing our excitement. It's infectious. It's intoxicating right now, which again, I'm going to talk about that more in just a second, but thank you so much to each and every single one of you that truly rocks with what we do and supports, even just liking tweets and liking posts and retweeting and any of that. Anybody who interacts with our content, anything, you guys have no clue the impact you have on the content, the business, everything we do. And again, I can't say enough. I truly cannot say enough. I feel like I'm rambling right now, but it's just something I don't take for granted. And yesterday was really, really cool. And of course, it's going to continue to be cool. And we're going to continue to do things for the first time. And we're going to continue to grow and evolve in business and content and life, really. I don't know. But no, it was incredible. I mean, I got a huge smile on my face and just wow. Anyways, let's get into it. I'm going off right now. Let's get into it, though. Shane Beamer, of course, we're all ready right now to run through a brick wall. And hey, guys, I make content, right? But the content is only as good as the subject matter you're speaking about. And man, Shane Beamer has made my life incredible and all of our lives incredible. Is it too early to say that Shane Beamer won SEC Media Days? I mean, honestly, listen, I know we're biased. I totally understand. There's no question he won day one. Out of him, Dan Mullen, and Ed Orgeron, there's no question that Shane Beamer won day one. And it's not that Coach Beamer really did anything that was out of the ordinary, what I didn't expect. I told you guys, hey, I'm expecting a coach that's going to go out there. He's going to sell the shit out of our program. He is going to sell the University of South Carolina. I think it's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. I think it's the thing with Shane Beamer We talk about, he loves this place and he really wants to be here. And I know that just gets repeated over and over and over again, and it becomes lip service, and people are just like, it just kind of gets recycled. But it's a for real thing, guys. Like, it oozes out of him when he talks about South Carolina and what it is currently, but what he knows it can be, the potential of the program, the potential of them getting back to, not just getting back to 2010 when he was there, but being even better than they were in his first stint in Columbia. It just oozes out of him. You cannot fake the type of energy, in my opinion, that Shane Beamer has. He's as genuine as they come, and he truly loves the University of South Carolina. He truly believes in the University of South Carolina. He's not looking at this as a job. He's looking at this as a home. And I think that is the biggest difference. Of course, we're going to run through again. I'll just highlight some of the most notable things he said. Obviously, he did talk about on field, of course. Talked about quarterback Luke Doty, him continuing to get better, being QB1. Says everyone's healthy, which, thank goodness. I mean, I know that, knock on wood, of course, but, the health of the football team has been one of the top storylines of the last couple of years. We're hoping, we're praying, fingers crossed, that we're actually going to have a healthy football team in 2021, that we're going to have a healthy football team this season. It sounds like Luke Day, the job he's done has been incredible. Shane Beamer speaking says, we're all competitors and nobody around here is happy about what has taken place the last few seasons. He kept reiterating that over and over. And of course, he was asked about first-year expectations and what their goals are and stuff like that. And he didn't really get into crazy detail, just kind of gave the coach speak answer, if you will, about, we want to be the best we can possibly be and get better every single day. And that's totally fine. I mean, what are you expecting to say? I don't expect him to go out there and say, hey, we're expecting to go win the SEC in year one. I'm also not expecting to go say, hey, just get into a bowl game is fine. I don't think he wants to. And the reason he didn't say that, guys, he's not going to put a cap on his football team. He's not going to tell his guys, hey, guys, if we just win 6 games this year, it'll be a great year. No, this is a program. This is a coaching staff. There's a team. They're going to show up each and every single game, each and every single week, expecting to win in every game they play. Now, about his football team specifically on the field, because like I said, a lot of it was, your previous interactions with the coaches you've worked for and what you've learned, what's prepared you for this journey. Here's the thing. This football team has a lot of questions, right? And I want to get more into in a little bit one of the comments that he made that I thought was really, really wise of Shane Beamer to make. And I was very impressed with his answer to the question, because he was asked a lot about first-year expectations. What are you guys planning on doing this year? What's a successful 2021, right? But I will say this, because we all know the question marks, right? I think we're all pretty familiar, and we're going to start breaking that down a lot more on Thursday's show when we start talking offense. Then we'll talk defense. On Monday, we'll talk special teams. We're going to break it all down. You guys are going to know. We're all going to know everything, the ins and outs of this football team and what the question marks are, because there are plenty of them. But I will say this, and Shane Beamer was very aware to point this out multiple times. He made it a point to point this out multiple times when talking about his football team. And he said this, he said, quote, my dad used to always say in coaching, if you're good on the line of scrimmage and you're good in the kicking game, you've got a chance to be successful. I feel that we certainly are. Here's the thing. If you're going to have questions on a football team, you know what the best place to not have questions is? The line of scrimmage. Special teams, but most certainly the line of scrimmage. While there are questions at quarterback, there are questions at receiver, there are questions at defensive back, and maybe even linebacker. When you have at least that line of scrimmage built in like they do with the offensive line, 4 or 5 starters running, and of course the defensive line, do I really even have to say anything about those guys? All the athletes and the way you've recruited on that side of the ball, that's a pretty damn good place to start. Again, I would rather the quarterback be inexperienced and not quite solved. I'd rather that be the case than be, hey, 4 or 5 linemen are brand new and, it's a weakness. But that's a great starting point for a new head coach. Because, again, he made the point, and I would say the same thing. If you cannot run the football and you cannot stop the run, you are not going to beat anyone. So that's a pretty good starting point. If you're the Gamecocks, if you're Shane Beamer coming in his first year, the situation could be worse. I also thought it was very funny. He pointed out they're going to throw it to the tight ends. He said, quote, we're going to throw to the tight ends. We want the premier tight ends in America. And folks, if you do not think that was a selling point, or if if you don't think he was bringing that up on purpose for Oscar Delp, you are absolutely insane. When he goes, we want the premier tight ends in America. I think he literally would have said, we want Delp if he legally could have said that. He said a lot of things. Shane Beamer said a lot of things that he sort of already touched on in spring, talking about the receivers. They're very deep. There's a lot of options, talking about the depth of the defensive line and all that. So there's a lot of things he touched on. He sort of reiterated, talked about Kevin Harris, of course, and our goal is to be the very best team we can be. I did love how he refused to mention that team in the upstate by their name. He mentioned them as the in-state rival multiple times. So very, very good stuff. But overall, of course, like I said, I feel Shane Beamer, and I know we're all biased, but I don't know that it's crazy to say, man, he won SEC Media Days. It's wild. And he did exactly what I expected him to do in regards to just selling the program, selling the heck out of the South Carolina football program. He believes in USC, guys. He knows what it is right now, but he knows what it can be. And again, that's why we all talk about culture and hiring a guy who's been here and is a Gamecock through and through, because, hey, guess what? South Carolina is not every other job, right? We've talked about this ad nauseum, but I'll mention it again. South Carolina is not every other job. It's a challenge. It's not easy to win at Carolina. It's not the easiest, right? And so you need someone who truly believes in it and understands what it can be, because it's not a job for everybody. And so what better guy to have than someone who has literally seen it firsthand, who has literally seen South Carolina football reach heights that many thought they never would when they went to Atlanta in 2010 and played for an SEC championship. Now, I think Shane Beamer did a really, really good job in one specific comment that I want to highlight, okay? First thing I'll say this. He did talk about the fan base, said, quote, love our fan base, love the passion they have. They expect to win. They expect to win big. You want to be the head coach at a program like that. I love the fact Shane Beamer is embracing expectations. Hey, our fan base wants to win. We got a taste of it in 2010 and 2013. Gamecock fans, we can all attest. Everybody tuned in right now listening. We all want to win. We all want to get back to that. And Shane Beamer embraces that. That's good. You need that for sure. But I will say this, the thing that maybe impressed me the most, there were many reasons to be impressed by Shane Beamer and everything he said, the energy he brought. And I would say certainly, guys, we've talked about all preseason long, he's absolutely crushed the preseason. And yes, we're in the honeymoon phase, but what he's done in regards to changing the energy and the positive momentum, he did nothing. He did nothing to stop that. Heck, he only kept the hype train going for his first season in Columbia. I think we'd all agree. But expectations, first-year expectations were brought up again and again and again. I was curious. I was like, is he going to touch on it? Is he really going to say anything in depth, in detail about it? And I loved this comment that he had. I loved this comment because I've joked off air with people in regards to first-year expectations for Shane. Guys, I've talked to you guys on the Daily Crow many a times. When I dropped my predictions last week and I had the Gamecocks finishing 6-6, 3-5 in the SEC, many of you saying, oh, Chris, they're going to beat Mizzou. They're going to beat Kentucky. They're going to finish 7-5. They're going to finish 8-4. Okay. And I've given you guys my thoughts and my opinions on people who think the Gamecocks are going to finish, especially at like an 8-4 clip. Here's what Shane Beamer had to say when Paul Feinbaum asked him about first-year expectations and this program as a whole in year one. He said, quote, I was hired for a reason. Frankly, this was a 2-win team last year. 2020 is behind us and we're moving forward. But to say that we don't have holes on the roster and issues that we need to get right would be naive of me to say, end quote. Now, he also went on to say, we really like our roster. We like our guys. But I thought Shane Beamer, I admire the way he answered the question. And I truly, genuinely, guys, I appreciate his honesty. Now, I did not want Shane Beamer to go out there and dog our football team because I think we all agree there is talent on this football team. And I'll tell you guys this, something I have not said on the airwaves quite yet, but I had this realization yesterday. I'll tell you guys this. I'll give you this. If South Carolina goes 7-5 or better with this roster in Shane Beamer's first year, man, it is truly going to be a testament to just how bad the previous coaching staff was. And again, I'm not here to beat them up and pile on, but I just, man, it is really going to be an indictment on that previous staff. And hey, maybe it'll be more so of a credit to how good of a coach Shane Beamer is and his coaching staff. Either way, though, back to what I was saying about Shane Beamer, his answer to that question. I admire and appreciate the way he answered that question because, hey, as excited as I am, guys, as excited as we all are, again, I talk about the word perspective in real life, but you can also apply it to sports, guys. You have to have perspective. I know you guys have gotten really tired of hearing me say, hey, this is a program that's won 6 combined games the last 2 years. You go 6-6 in year one of Shane Beamer, you've had a fantastic season. And Coach Beamer is not going to come out and say that like I just did. He's not going to come out and say that and whatever. But what he said, again, I think fans need to see it, they need to hear it, and they need to take it to heart. Hey, there are legitimate holes on this roster. And there are tons of question marks that have yet to be answered. Again, is there not talent on this roster? Sure, there's definitely talent. I mean, you look at the recruiting classes, where guys are ranked, there's talent on this roster. But guys, please don't lose sight that a bowl game in year one will be a massive success for this program. A bowl game in year one, let me say it again, a bowl game in year one will be a massive success for this program. Like I've said before, you go 6-6 or better, recruiting will change. Recruiting will change. Not that it's, bad right now, of course. I mean, he talked about that too and touched on it, the way they've been recruiting. It's been incredible. It's been incredible. But if you think there's a lot of positive momentum now in this preseason, you go 6-6 or better, you get to a bowl game, all of a sudden, I mean, the energy is through the freaking roof of what Shane Beamer is building and selling in Columbia, guys. But I would just say this. And again, I think Shane Beamer said this without saying this. Be patient. Just be a little patient. I know life is crazy when the guy who was calling for the previous head coach's head is now telling you all to be patient, but it is literally year one, guys. It's not going to happen overnight. There are position units on this roster that have to get flipped. Just bottom line, just call it for what it is. There are position units on this roster that have to be changed. That's it. They got to improve. And the only way that can happen is in recruiting. That's the only way you can do it. It's the only way you can flip those certain position units. So again, I really admired Shane Beamer's answer to that question. Again, he's not dogging his team. He's not saying, hey, we can't make a bowl game or we can't do this, or we can't do that. I think he understands the expectations. And like I said, guys, in the building, their expectations are to win every single game they play. No doubt. And that's the way it should be. Bottom line. I promise you their goals, their aspirations, their year in, year out goals go far beyond making a bowl game. I can assure you of that. But again, I appreciated the honesty from Shane Beamer. Hey, when he said it too, guys. I don't know if you missed this. When he first got hired, he said this as well. He said, hey, normally when you get hired in the SEC, basically every time, it ain't because things are going well. When they hire a new football coach, it ain't because things are going well. It's because things were going very poorly, and they were. So, overall takeaways, man. Like I said, I know this is a very kind of just fly by the seat of your pants type show. We're just kind of rambling going on, but man, I just had to get it out there. Incredible. Shane Beamer crushed it again. He did everything I thought he would do, though. I really thought Shane Beamer would take the podium with a lot of confidence. But yeah, you have to admire the guy, by the way. His first ever SEC Media Days, it can be kind of intimidating. You can be kind of, walking on eggshells a little bit. He didn't do that. Didn't do that at all. He went up there with confidence. And like I said, I expect him to do this, and he did. He sold the heck out of the South Carolina program. Sold the heck out of it. I mean, if you're a recruit, you're a prospect watching the heck. Jordan Rogers said it. He's like, I'm ready to play for Shane Beamer. I will play for Shane Beamer right now. I will play for Shane Beamer right now. He sold the heck out of the program. And like I said, guys, for him, what I love about Coach Beamer is that it's not synthetic. It's not fake. It's not something where he's like, he had to think about that before he went up there. I think when you genuinely, truly care about a place and you are genuine and you're just a genuine human being, you don't have to make up, what am I going to say? I should say this. I should say that. It just oozes out of you naturally. It just oozes out of him naturally. Like he loves the University of South Carolina. He truly believes in it. He's truly invested. He's truly bought in. He knows what it means to be a Gamecock. He knows how special it is. And again, I know we've been talking about this all preseason, and I mean, he's crushed every single press conference he's done. And I do want to say this, though, guys, back to what he said in regards to first-year expectations, okay? Just because you win a press conference doesn't mean you're a good head football coach. I'm just pointing it out there, just putting it out there. Just because you win press conferences in July, hey, you don't win games in July. You don't. You don't win games at SEC Media Days. But I will say, if nothing else, it is so refreshing. It was so needed for this fan base. The just complete energy shift that has happened, the complete energy shift and the positive momentum. And I will say this, as I've said before, guys, in my daily life, and I would say in your daily lives, but it applies to sports and what Shane Beamer's doing in building a program as well. Just because you're positive, right? Just because you have a positive attitude, I mean, that doesn't guarantee you positive results. But I can tell you this, if you're negative, if you're down and out, if you're blaming other people, if you're doing this, that, well, I can guarantee you a negative result is going to happen, right? So you might as well roll the dice with some positive energy and see what happens. And obviously Shane Beamer's doing that. He's doing an incredible job. And like I said, as a prospect, as a recruit, how can you watch what he did? How can you watch with his energy and everything when he talks about the Gamecocks? How can you watch that and say anything other than I want to play for that guy? That's where I want to go. Hint, hint, Oscar Delp, right? So overall, man, Shane Beamer crushed it. We'll see if he's the winner of SEC Media Days come the end of the week. But I left ready to run through a brick wall, extremely impressed. And he did the exact same thing he's been doing since the first ever press conference when he stepped on campus. Nothing short of fantastic. And I think we'll continue to see that. Like I told you guys, we're in the honeymoon phase and we're going to hit adversity at some point, but it just feels really good right now. The positive energy, the positive momentum, and he did one hell of a job of that, continuing to keep that rolling, selling this South Carolina program and really expressing what makes the University of South Carolina so special. And I can tell you this, how can you feel anything other than excited about the future of Carolina football when you watched that appearance from Shane Beamer on Monday afternoon? So incredible stuff. Again, Shane Beamer, I no doubt he won day one at SEC Media Days. And he might win the whole damn thing because I know one thing right now. My blood's pumping. I'm ready to freaking literally run through a wall. I'm ready for kickoff. Hey, I've enjoyed summer. It's great. Let's spot the damn ball. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. And RIP Eastern Illinois because they have no clue what they are walking into on September the 4th. That is for damn sure. So that's going to wrap it up, guys, with the SEC Media Days comments. Nothing crazy from Nick Muse and JJ Nibari, pretty much the standard stuff. They talked about NIL and, Nick Muse told Gamecock fans, hey, just so you know, to South Carolina fans, we are going to throw to the tight ends. And of course that was a really big thing. And I don't think that's any secret because, hey, the wide receiver position's a deficiency. We have good tight ends. You got to use them flat out. You got to use them. But overall, a great day for the Gamecocks Monday at SEC Media Days. Incredible stuff. And, just keeping the hype train rolling, man. The next time I will see Shane Beamer, actually next Monday, I will be at the Welcome Home Tour at Williams-Brice Stadium. Very excited to take it in yet again. I'm sure, Shane Beamer will hit on a lot of the things he talked about at SEC Media Days, but excited to actually meet the Gamecocks head coach, man. Going to be a really, really good time. And, we'll certainly be making content around that and all that good stuff. But incredible stuff, man. An incredible day. Shane Beamer's first SEC Media Days. I don't know what more you could have really asked from Shane Beamer. I don't know what more you could ask from Shane Beamer in his first SEC Media Days. I don't know what more you could ask from Shane Beamer for his first 7 months in Columbia. I mean, what? It's incredible. Like, it's mind-blowing what he's been able to do in regards to building positive momentum and like I've told you guys many a times, changing the energy. And truly, there is a culture shift happening. There's a culture shift happening, and it feels so good to be a part of it. Now, guys, I was only planning about talking about Gamecocks football and SEC Media Days, but some huge baseball news before we get out of here. Mark Kingston's squad getting a huge boost on Monday afternoon. His infielder Kevin Madden, Virginia Tech infielder Kevin Madden, I should say, announces he has committed to South Carolina, a transfer. The Gamecocks getting better in the transfer portal. This past season for Virginia Tech, how did he do, you might ask? Well, he started 51 games for the Hokies at third base, by the way, which we all know how troublesome of a position that was for South Carolina a year ago or in this past season. He hit .313 on the year, 4 home runs, and 37 RBIs. And again, guys, I don't have to tell you this, but just to give you some perspective, that .313 would have easily led South Carolina in average this year. So again, I would expect Kevin Madden, a guy to come in immediately, if not start, fight for that starting job at that third base position, no doubt. I think Mark Kingston right now doing a great job as far as, utilizing the transfer portal, flipping the roster. Of course, the transfer portal hits you and having guys leaving. Hey, why not go to the portal and pick up guys, man? It's just a new day and age in college athletics, and this is one of the ways that you're going to recruit. You're going to get guys, and like I've told you guys in football, same thing applies to baseball, man. I mean, you can go sign a top class and get a kid out of high school, but man, what a luxury it is to snag a guy like Madden, who literally hit .313 in 51 starts in the ACC last year. That's, I know we joke about the ACC in football, but the ACC in baseball, that's a pretty damn legit conference. So you're not a scrub if you're hitting .313, 4 homers, and 37 RBI in that conference. So really exciting stuff. Again, Mark Kingston continuing to beef up that roster. And I know we're a long ways away from baseball season. We're talking football right now, but really exciting to see what Mark Kingston is doing. So again, guys, that's going to do it all for me. Hey, appreciate you all tuning in. Like I said, felt good to talk to you all again on a Tuesday. We will be back, I believe, next week. Yes, back to Monday, Thursday shows. We will get back to 5 days a week for the podcast once we get to game week of the first game. And from there, we'll be five shows a week from game week until pretty much the end of baseball season. So, going to be a good time. But either way, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you all so much. All aboard the Shane train. Keep it rolling. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we will talk to you on Thursday, folks. Take care.